Roll call. Kristen?
I know you started to touch on it on Sunday, but after taking a look at the film, offense, defense of USC, what kind of sticks out on both sides of the ball?
Just their talent. That they're obviously from a schematic standpoint, they're very well coached in all three phases, and then just exceptionally talented. And so it's a challenge at every level, whether it's stopping the run, the play action element, the quarterback run element that he presents. I think is a little bit underrated. Special teams, obviously, Adoree Jackson getting him out of the game is a huge key to success there. And then defensively, they're very good at kind of a base package in each personnel group that they present, and then they always have a little package, a little wrinkle for everybody each week, and so it's a little bit difficult to predict what that will be. And I'm sure they'll have a little something for a new quarterback, new offensive line, all those kind of things.
Preston?
Obviously, when Darnold took over, it looks like their season's kind of taken off 4-1 since he was the starter. Is it like that simple as the quarterback switched and they got a lot better, or kind of what's changed since he's taken over, and why have they taken off a little bit? Why has their trajectory changed?
Him. Yeah, him. He's a tremendous player. We were involved in recruiting him for a little while. He committed fairly early, but he's just a really good football player, and then surrounded by excellent talent. And so, veteran offensive, all the things in place, and then a guy that presents, a great passing threat and a great run threat really makes it go.
Kristen?
SC's defense has been a lot better in October in terms of shutting down quarterbacks, completion rates. Obviously, ASU blitz a lot, but what kind of challenge does this Trojan defense present for Justin Herbert?
They're different, obviously a lot different than ASU, somebody like ASU of how they pressure. It kind of comes from different areas in different ways. They disguise a lot more. They're just kind of schematically a lot different. And then the talent is unique in what they have. The second level guys can all really run. It's a really young, secondary for the last 2 years that's grown up. And then they've got two nose tackles that are really stout, and so it creates a gap for their linebackers who are very, very fast to run through.
Back to Preston.
What do you do with that Alabama game tape when Bama played USC? I mean, obviously that was one-way traffic in that game. I mean, do you even put much stock into that game at all, given that obviously now they have a new quarterback as well?
From an offensive standpoint, from our offense, yes and no. That they've evolved a little bit since game one. From our defensive perspective, yeah, it is a lot different in terms of what they do with Sam Darnold that they didn't do with Max Brown, and so there's not a lot of carryover there. Special teams wise, there's quite a bit just in terms of there were a lot of special teams plays and kind of unique things that happened in that game, and so there's always something you can learn from every game.
This league always has good receivers on every team, but Juju Smith, what really stands out with him, and I was watching last week's game, and the announcers called him maybe the most physical receiver in the Pac-12. Does that show up on film in your eyes?
Definitely. I mean, he is so big. I think he's listed at a little over 6'2", 220 something, 220-ish, and he looks every bit of that, if not more, when he's all padded up and can really run. Takes a lot of pride in how he blocks. I think is one of the most impressive things about that guy. And then his ball skills are crazy. And all the other guys, Rogers and Mitchell, and as soon as you forget one of them, somebody else makes you pay.
Mark, it seems like Wogan's been one of the most consistent players on your team this year. How critical, not only Matt, but if you have to punt, just keeping it away from these guys?
It's huge. I mean, huge. We did some stuff live today that we don't do very often of just reinforcing we've got to get that guy on the ground. And part of that is how you kick it. How you kick it to him, and if and when and where you kick it to him. Just total awareness, total commitment to that. And then, your first statement, yeah, Matt's been fantastic. I'm not sure exactly where he ranks now. I haven't looked at those stats from a touchback percentage standpoint, but he's been rock solid.
Anything else? Preston.
It's just college football playoff rankings coming out tonight. Washington's expected to be ranked in that top 4, or by a lot of people anyway. Is that good for the Pac-12 that a team like Washington is ranked that high? And do you think, having already played them, do they deserve to be ranked in that top 4?
I don't know. I'm not. We have to ask Rob Mullins. He'll be the expert on that. And we're going to pay the same amount of attention to that as when we were in it as we will today, and that's 0. We just got to totally focus on our deal, and hopefully we're back in that conversation.
Matt.
There was a story about the NCAA probably proposing some recruiting changes of an early signing period. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that you're in favor of, or what tweaks would you make to that proposal?
Yeah, I think early signing in itself is fine. I think the December signing date, the JC signing date, makes the most sense for everybody. Just in terms of you can still get guys in on official visits. You don't have to change the recruiting calendar at all. I think if you move it back to June or whatever that date is in the summer, I think that's very unfair to a team like us or teams where we have to get guys here on official visits. It's we're kind of a long way from everything and everybody, and getting guys here on an official visit, allowing their parents to come out and see that on our dime that's a huge deal. And to eliminate that possibility, I think that's just inequitable. But we'll see how that shakes out.
Basketball can bring guys in as juniors for official visits. Would that be something that you would want for football? I
would not. I think the best thing to do would be able to bring guys in September, and just keep that JC signing date, have it be an open signing date for high school kids. I think going back, that's when you're going, it's just speeding it up and pushing it up is not good for anybody.
Preston.
I know we're not allowed inside of practice, but I did hear the USC fight song coming from inside the Duck store today. Talking with Cam Hunt, who is from Southern California, he said he has like 100 guys or 100 family members coming to see him at the Coliseum. And with kind of that crazy atmosphere, what does playing in an atmosphere like the Coliseum, how does it affect a team like Oregon, just hostile environments in general?
Yeah, we try to create as many distractions as possible here, and throw them in the flight simulator and throw everything at them, and try to have them see that we didn't bring in a horse today, but we might tomorrow, and create as much chaos as we can to make them focus. And regardless of where we play, or it's just like our defense at a home game, they have to be able to communicate and never hear a word. And so that's what we try to do inside.
Thank you.
All right.
That horse has been in a bunch of Chanel